tonight, or I guess for people listening in the future, we're recording this episode and episode 10, Dragon Ball Super in a row. And something special tonight, Dragon Ball Super will have the opening, as music as part of the opening of the show. But tonight, I've got something special that I came up with.
Oh, shit.
Because I really didn't like the opening for Arslan, I decided that I wasn't going to play it to start the show. So actually, I wrote a little song myself.
Are you going to sing it for us? So you hear it right now?
It's going to be, let me just pull it up. I have a couple of lyrics. And I just thought about this while I was watching the show. And let me see if I can find it. Oh, now I actually forget how the melody goes. That's crappy. I've got the lyrics, but I'm not...
I'm like nervous, scared, and I don't know if I'm more nervous or scared for me or for you.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, actually, I just got really scared, too. Shit, I came up with it yesterday, and whatever. Arslan, you're so great. Your CGI soldiers all look the same. The dude in the iron mask is super scary. Arslan, Karlon is such a dick. He got a ton of people barbecued. Barbecue. King Andragoras III is a bit overconfident. Maybe it's because he needs to see a couples counselor as his wife seems a bit upset with him. Andragoras. And that's the song.
Awesome.
So,
yeah, that's woo!
Welcome to episode 9 of Two Dimensional Champions, and we're talking about the Heroic Legend of Arslan.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun. And I still think my
lady who did Fullmetal Alchemist.
Yeah, so actually, interesting story on the story. The Heroic Legend of Arslan is actually based on a fantasy novel series written by Yoshiki Tanaka, and it was started. It began in 1986, and there's currently 14 volumes, and there's still books coming out. The series has not finished yet, and Yoshiki Tanaka wrote the Legend of the Galactic Heroes, which is a really awesome space opera series.
Is the Yoshiki person, is that the same person who did Fullmetal?
No, actually.
Oh, I thought it could have sworn it was the same person. Wait, how am I confused then?
That's Hiromu Arakawa, and she did Fullmetal. And so what's interesting is Arslan has been going for a long time, and it's already there's been a manga series already that had an original ending because it caught up with the novels. There's been 2 anime film adaptations. There was a 4-part OVA that was never finished. So there's been a lot of
this story has been done a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, wait. So just to clarify, so novel series is in there's it's like a story, like what was it, like Legend of the Seven Rings, or the Seven Samurai, like that sort of story.
Like Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
Okay.
They're both. Mm-hmm.
And then just there've been multiple different iterations of it. One of those iterations, the most recent iteration that we're doing, was done by the same person who did Fullmetal Alchemist, right?
Yep. She does the art, and then the anime is directed by the guy who directed Bleach. So that's the long list of who did what.
Is this like the 7 degrees of separate, of Kevin Bacon or whatever?
Yeah, it's basically that. Yeah. And what's interesting is the novel is based on a Persian epic, which is called Amir Arslan. So the novel series, which this is all based on, is based on a Persian epic, which was narrated to a guy whose name is really cool, but I can't pronounce, the Shah Qajar, who was the Shah of Persia in the 19th century, and it was narrated to him by a storyteller named Muhammad Ali Naqib al-Mamalek, which I guess...
right, of course.
Sweet. Oh, yeah. And so he never transcribed the poem himself, but the daughter of the Shah transcribed it and to preserve it for history. And that's from Wikipedia. So thank you, Wikipedia.
Yeah.
So just that version is different. Just from the tiny little sentence that's included on Wikipedia, that it's already different. But yeah, so this is the story of this story is 5 minutes by itself.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the last interesting tidbit is the guy who did the art for the covers of the novels, and I think some of the inside art, it was, let me see real quick, Yoshitaka Amano, who did the art for Vampire Hunter D and Final Fantasy.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, actually, like, yeah, okay, yeah, I see that.
Yeah, and the cover art is amazing. I mean, really,
yeah,
really cool stuff. So.
But in that like sort of like crazy weird like style of Vampire Hunter D and
that kind of.
I mean, it makes me think specifically of the Final Fantasy VI art. But do you know if he does them all? I don't know.
Yeah, I think he does the main character design for all of them.
Oh yeah. You're right.
But you would be more familiar with that than I am, because I've actually only played a few. So, but I think he even does logo design. I don't know. I think he's pretty closely tied to that franchise.
Right.
So that's my long pre-review.
Your long little spiel.
Yeah. Did you notice how happy I was with that? Like, we just rattle off all this shit before we start.
Let's see. So, what the stuff? So thank you all for listening. Those who have something that you want us to go over, send us an email at 2Dimensional Champions. The next anime that we're doing is going to be Dragon Ball Super, which we're actually going to just do right after this, but just as a heads up. And then any other sort of announcements?
Yeah, I'd say just real quick, though, we watched Arslan on Hulu, or Funimation. You can do both.
Yeah.
They're conjoined. And then the manga is available by Kodansha, and you can pick that up at Barnes & Noble. There's 3 books out at the moment, which I think is even with the Japanese release. I think there's only 3 or 4 books. So, yeah, so that if you enjoy listening to us, or actually, I mean, if you just heard my wonderful song at the beginning and wish to experience the story that inspired such an amazing musical intro to this program, then that's how you can check it out.
Exactly. And with, I guess we should probably announce where you can watch things in advance. With Dragon Ball, you can find that somewhere. And I think it's Funimation. Did they end up licensing it?
It's still currently unlicensed.
Okay, it's still currently unlicensed, so basically someone's gonna get a lot of money for it.
Yeah. Allegedly, you can watch it online.
Yeah, allegedly.
Places. Allegedly.
Cannot confirm nor deny.
Otherwise, we watch the Japanese broadcast.
Exactly.
Yep.
Somehow, and we both are very fluent in Japanese.
Allegedly.
And I think that's the main stuff. Any new things going on with Tea Time?
Nothing going on with Tea Time recently, since I've been moving.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a couple of conventions, so there's been a couple of cool manga announcements, which I guess I can talk about.
No, we can let's later, because you're probably going to make a post about that.
Yeah, I'll probably do a post about that.
Okay, we'll just mention when it's out. And yeah, so now let's get into it. The Heroic Legend of Arslan.
Nice. So what did you think of your journey through the capital of or is it the country of Ekbatano?
God, you and your names.
The place where Arslan is from.
Wanted to like it more than I did.
Yeah.
Like a lot of me was like huge nostalgia from Full Metal Alchemist, and that's just because like you'd see that guy and you'd be like, that's greed, but it's not greed, or that's this character, or that's like this character, and they're not those actual characters. His best friend. I think it was Darien.
Yeah, Darien.
Yeah, doesn't he look a lot like Greed?
Yeah.
You know, and then like his mom really reminded me of of Armstrong's sister.
Yeah, that's
you know, and then like his trainer reminded me of like a side character, like that old man, and I was like, oh, that's that character. So that happened a lot. I mean, all in all, I think it's solid. I just for this is gonna sound, it didn't really captivate me as much as Around Pickle Girls in a Dungeon did. Words I never thought I'd say. But I did enjoy it. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just not like as great as I wanted to, and wanted it to be. And I think that might be just because I have like sort of high standards set from Full Metal. Like, I don't even know if I watched Full Metal and I thought I realized its greatness in the first 5 episodes. It might have taken longer for it to really develop. And that could be the same case, but I just want that greatness immediately. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think you really hit a good point, which is that it's animated by a different studio than the one that did both Full Metal series, that was Bones. And Bones is great. Bones is awesome. And this was animated by Liden Films with Senzaigen. Liden Films, I have no idea what they've done before, but Senzaigen is the 3D CG studio that did the Black Rock Shooter anime a few years ago, and they did the CG scenes in Kill la Kill. They work with Studio Trigger, which did Kill la Kill. I just don't think Lida Films was really up for the task of such a huge story, and frankly, I just don't think the animation lived up to the fluid art that Arakawa has. Because I was flipping through the books, and I liked it was funny because it's not that the anime really skips much, or really anything that I could notice. But I enjoy the manga more because I feel like the characters they have more personality in the way they're drawn, and the comedy is funnier, the faces are better, the expressions therefore are better, and no, I just don't think the anime, and I don't know if that's the director, that's Noriyuki Abe, who did, like I said, Bleach. I don't know if that's him, I don't know if that's a studio. I think it should have been done by Bones. They know how to handle her art. This show was already trying to look like the last Full Metal TV show. So this should have just been a Bone series. I don't know. I feel like it was just.
I want just to interject because, like, when I watched it, I didn't think like, this animation really isn't doing it for me. But I did have that, like, feeling of not being grabbed as much as I necessarily wanted to be grabbed. Do you think that like it's those subtleties in the animation that conveys that, or like?
Could be. I just thought it was very flat.
Interesting.
The characters. I mean, it's interesting because having read the manga, they just move a lot more in the manga. And as you remember from Full Metal, everybody's, Ed is very movement based. A lot of his personality is, his physical expression.
That's true. And he is really animated. And with this, I think that the art was really good, but there wasn't. That seems to. I don't know.
It was stiff, really stiff. I mean, I think the character design is really good.
Yeah.
It looks like her art.
Yeah.
But I just think otherwise it's really stiff. And the CG, the armies, I mean, the armies are cool, but like I said in my wonderful verse, at the beginning of, because it wasn't really a song, but my verse, at the opening, they all look the same. If you pause it, it's the same fucking person.
Copy pasta.
Copy pasta. And, I saw that shit with the Berserk movies, which, it bugged me then. I know it's easier, but I don't know. I felt like Arslan, especially from such a huge author, and from otherwise what looks like they really tried. It's not like they put their C team on this show. I just think it was stiff, and also the manga is more, the action scenes are much more you really get sucked into them a lot more.
Interesting.
And I think it's more violent than the manga too.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah.
But
I didn't read the manga, so I can't really compare. But
yeah, I mean, I'd have to look at it again because it's been a while since I've read it. I just flipped through it while I was watching the show to just because I watched the show and I was actually really, really, really surprised how little I liked it.
Yeah. But
especially having.
Were you able to? So do you think was there anything else? Well, I guess. So first impressions. I guess like who would you recommend to, or like what would you rank it, or whatever.
I mean, I think that's actually, wow, for the first time that's really making me think, because it's not that it's like a really shitty show.
Right.
It's not that it's done really poorly. And, you know, I don't know if I would have liked it more if I hadn't read the books, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I'm just not sure. It was interesting because there were scenes in it that I remember really, really enjoying in the manga. And when they would do these scenes, I did not like them in the show.
Interesting.
And I really think it's what was in their budget to do, and I guess the directing. I mean, it's just really stiff. And it's unfortunate because there's comedy that I just don't think hits the same beats without the faces that she drew, if that makes sense. And I wish they were a little more playful with that. But I still don't know if that would have fixed it, because there's also the one scene I know they skipped. I don't remember seeing it. Is after the army gets wrecked, there's a scene in the manga where there's this, I guess, a farmer or a fisherman, or I forget what it is. Anyway, he's by the river, and he noticed that there's blood that's just filling up the river, and then it goes further upstream, and you just see all of the bodies of the army.
Oh wow! No, I didn't.
And you really just get that feeling that they just lost so hard, and that wasn't it. I feel like there were just little things like that. I mean, I can't remember anything else specifically, but
yeah, I do think that there were some parts where you thought about the scale of the army being huge,
mm-hmm.
But then there were other parts where it also just seemed really small, it reminds me of those video games where at least that whole army thing just really reminded me of those video games where you play the general that you're the only person that has a lot of character, personality, whatever. You have a giant weapon, you just go around thrashing tons of unnamed minions or whatever.
Yeah, Dynasty Warriors.
Yes, Dynasty Warriors. And
this is Dynasty Warriors, the anime.
Yeah, at least that scene specifically. But it sort of seemed with Dynasty Warriors, there's so many people, but then it's but not really. And there's sort of a weird thing with scale.
Yeah, I agree. And it's very unexpected because the books are good. I mean, I love the books. I'm going to keep reading the books. I mean, I just really enjoy them.
You know what it's better than? Blade of the Immortal, the animated. So, yeah, which I'm just throwing that out there. So,
that's true. That's totally true.
Yeah.
I agree. I would watch this every day over.
This is the best ever.
I mean, I would have cried if Blade of the Immortal had gotten a show this good.
Cry tears of joy.
Cry tears of joy. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think so. Yeah, I think my feelings are similar. Unfortunately, just sort of, it seems like a solid anime. It just doesn't seem like a great anime. That's sort of my, and I think that it should be a great anime.
Yeah, and I think, thinking about that, I think in response to the question of who I would recommend this to, I would recommend this to and I guess this is going to sound worse than I actually mean it, but I would say like teenagers, like younger teenagers, like freshmen, sophomore high school students who've watched a lot of anime, who just like enjoy all of it, I would recommend it to them.
Yeah.
And I actually mean that not in a bad way. I think just liked the show a lot more then. Really, I don't know. I don't know if that makes
like
sense.
If you watch a lot, like if you can only watch like a couple animes like a year or whatever, like if that's like this sort of your consumption rate, then probably not this one. But if you sort of watch anime regularly, I would say definitely check this one out. You know, I think it's better than a lot of other stuff that's out there. But it's not the like necessarily that one anime that you're going to watch that year that you're going to remember for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and like you said, it should be a great fucking show, and it's not.
I mean, but there's part of it like I'm sort of thinking also back with Full Metal, which was it's like greatness. It grew into that. You know, like I don't think that like the first few episodes or whatever like of Full Metal I wasn't completely blown away. You know, I think the most like impactful scene of Full Metal where it really like kicked it up a level was when they ran into the guy with the Chimera daughter or whatever. And then that everyone remembers that, and that's where like the shit just got real. You know, other than that, it just sort of seemed like another anime that was pretty good, but not mind-blowingly good, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
So I think there's a chance that I'm being too critical on this show in comparison to its former show, and I'm kind of curious as to like how the rest of the episodes will play out.
That's true.
But I'm also not sure if I want to or have the motivation to watch the rest of the episodes.
Yeah, and the question that comes up for me is, where is the show going to go? I know it's 26 episodes, but there's only 3-4 books out.
That's like after the 26 episodes?
Yeah, like, are they going to... Like, what happens if they cover all the manga? Are they just going to start adapting the novels? Are they going to do an original ending? And for me, that brings up, like, well, if they're just going to start doing their own thing, I'd rather just read the books, because I'm interested in Arakawa, how she's going to draw the story, but I'm not really interested in this, like, this director's interpretation of Arakawa's interpretation of the story.
Right.
And that's like...
Well, but then again, I guess for the first Full Metal, when it did go its own way, was that done... Who animated that?
Oh, that was Bones.
Was that... Wait, did Bones do them both?
Mm-hmm, yep.
Okay. So, I felt like that was done really well.
Yeah, I did. I know some people who didn't like it, but I really enjoyed it too.
I can't think of anyone who didn't like it who also didn't know about the anime, like the manga, rather.
Oh, yeah.
Like when I watched it, like I thought it was great. I didn't know the manga existed.
I was on the fucking edge of my seat.
Yeah,
and like you said, I hadn't read it yet.
Right.
It was seamless in that regard. I was just,
Yeah. So
yeah, maybe I could be. Yeah, I could just be grumpy about this show.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's really hard to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess how about this? Out of 5 stars, what would you give it? Or 10, if that's easier.
Yeah, what would...
10.
Yeah, let's do 10. 10 is, I think, would be easier. I'd give it, like... The first 5 episodes, I'd give... 6.5 stars?
Yeah, I would give it a 7.
Okay.
But, I mean, it's same sort of level. But,
because, again, I feel like I'm being a real dick towards the show, because it's not a bad show.
Right.
It's not that it's a really shitty anime. It's just... It's like we're in the parallel world that got the crappier version of this show.
Right.
And there's another world that got what this show should be.
Here's my pitch. Sort of like devil's advocate, though, is that like the whole. So we're sort of, I guess, we're gonna start getting into it. But the whole story is about the development of this character, right? So it's like with the first 5 episodes, it really is just the setup. You know, like there's the big fight. You know, his pops. You know, and then he's like trying to escape. He has his like main bodyguard, and then like they find another person, and then you sort of like see like the bard person who seems like he might join the team up like later on or whatever. But like that's really like the taste of an epic. Like it's like the very beginning of a journey, of an adventure. It's you know, Bilbo like leaving the Shire or whatever, you know, like that's sort of how I feel like it is. So there really is like that chance for growth, and I'm a lot more hopeful in this than I was for Chiazzax. I'm just gonna say, because we talked about Chiazzax having growth, and that didn't happen at all. At all. It didn't happen at all.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. I mean, this show could get really good. I've only read the first 3 books, and the show, that's it, 5 episodes. That's all I saw.
Right.
So, I agree with. I agree. I mean, definitely, we're not at the exciting part yet.
Right.
We're still, I think, just leaving the Shire. Well, I mean, they just, you know, at the end of episode 5, I mean, that episode I think is called like the Capital Burns Part 1. So I mean, the enemy army just showed up.
Right.
I mean, we're not, you know, we did not make 5 episodes into this show is not a lot.
Yeah. I really just don't. I almost don't feel like I've seen enough.
Yeah. So, would you watch more?
Yeah, but not immediately.
Yeah, would you maybe like let it finish running and then kind of see what people are saying?
Right, or like I probably let it finish and then just like binge watch it or something like that, or try to binge watch it, and then like if I can't, then you know it's dead to me. You know, like.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a good show to have playing while you play Dynasty Warriors.
Yes. Yes, I think that would be great.
Or like, what's that, like fucking Rome, Total Warfare? Is that what it's called?
I haven't played that, I don't know. I know what you're talking about.
Total War. Yeah, the Total War series. Just, you play that, have this running, you know, on the side. I think that would be a good experience, really.
Yeah.
But then, it could get really good. I mean, I feel like I'm being really mean to the show, and I guess I was a lot more sore about being disappointed about this show than I even thought I was. Because when I watched it, I didn't really think that. I was just like, oh, this kind of sucks compared to the manga. But now I'm like kind of angry about it. Like I feel.
Well, when we talked about it, it was like. You know, the same girl that did, you know, Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, goody, you know. So there's definitely some whatever. We had a high standard when going into it.
Yeah, and I mean, you could have told me that there's a show coming out, and the janitor who worked the offices while they were animating Full Metal Alchemist was also the janitor at this studio when they did.
Oh my God, it must be amazing.
I would just shit my pants, be like, I'm there, I'll watch all of it. Great, you know, let's do this. And
You'd still be equally disappointed. Janitor, why didn't you have more of an input on the animation quality, please? Janitor, come on, I expected more from you. You let me down. And he's like, the floors are really fucking clean. And you're like, I don't want to hear your excuses. Man,
I want to hear that shit. Yeah, and this actually makes me think of, there's another Arakawa manga that got an anime, I think it was like Heroic Age or something. And I never read that manga. It was another fantasy action series, and I never read it. And I know the anime was not, I think it just disappeared. I don't remember anybody. Yeah, and then on the other hand, she does Silver Spoon, which is about farming. And that got a great anime. The anime for that is really good.
Who animated it?
I think the same studio that did Sword Art Online.
Interesting.
Which I can't remember the studio name right now.
I feel like we've been ridiculously off topic now. Like I feel like
oh, yeah.
we've spent more time talking about pretty much anything but this show. We've talked about Full Metal. We've talked about all the other branches. The story that this was based on before it happened. Yeah. And how the characters remind us of other animes.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get back on track. So, episode 1.
Hey. I think that it's just not it's not bad. It's just not it's just not captivating to me. You know, it seems kind of just solid. You have the prince who's getting trained, but he's like, oh, why you train me so hard? Everything's safe. The father's like, oh my god, I've got the biggest dick in the world. Nothing can stop me. I'm so strong. And then there's slaves, and then the highbrow, the prince who's a really nice guy, runs into a slave and is like, why are you so against being a slave, man? Slaves are just they get us food, they help us, they do my dishes. What's the big deal?
Yeah, you have a good life here.
Yeah. He was like, fuck you, I want freedom. And then didn't it end with the guy escaped, and then he was like, well, I want to talk to more slaves, and then killed them all or something like that? Was that the end of episode 1?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they killed them because of Yaldabaoth, that god or whatever. Basically they said they were useless as slaves because they wouldn't, bend to their will.
Yeah, because they had different ideologies, and the main character, the prince, was like, I want to learn these ideologies or whatever. I want to learn about their beliefs. This guy I met was so interesting, and they're all dead.
Yeah, and I think the philosophy of the people, the slaves, background story and stuff, or not background story, it's the main story. I think that's really interesting. I think that's done very well, because Arslan's not a bad kid. He's lived in the palace, and he's heard his dad's line of reasoning on that.
Right.
And I think it's cool that he's like, well, what is their actual experience? What's going on?
I think that's a cool, a good point, because that's sort of true to everybody, and I think that at least that episode specifically, or in general, that character, he's a character who was brought up on certain beliefs, yet he just remains curious, and then quickly finds out that there's a lot of people that sort of believe different things. But when we're raised by our parents, we're taught certain beliefs, men wear blue, girls wear pink, or whatever, and be them clear or subtle. But they aren't what we learn at a young age isn't necessarily the truth,
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a cool point, because what we learn in the history books, seems very decided, so of course slavery's bad. But, looking at human history, there's, a lot of shit that we did that was, okay.
There were a lot of people that were okay with slavery when slavery was happening, before it was a part of the history.
There was not just cool with it. That was just how things were. That's just how it was.
Think about alcohol. I love drinking, but it's that being legal and okay, whereas marijuana is illegal. Those are the rules that we have now, but eventually I'm sure that these rules there might be modifications rather, and then people will look back in history books and be like, what? They thought a plant was gonna make what?
Yeah, and I just read an article where I think somewhere in Russia they discovered golden bongs that are older than the Bible. That they think belong. Yeah, like golden bongs older than the Bible, and they think. I don't think they think. I mean, they're pretty sure they belong to the Scythians, which are of course, the people in history. That manga. Yeah. And the bongs are decorated with glorious combat, or it's cool shit, man. It's like really, this was manly shit on these bongs.
Right.
And what's funny is they did testing on it, and there's like traces of marijuana and
whatever,
and the resin, of both,
Wow.
And they were just toking it up.
So it wasn't cocaine or whatever it was.
Actually. No, this was marijuana and the resin, and this is older than the Bible, right? And these golden bongs were like intricate as shit. Like these things look awesome. I mean, they look,
Yeah.
So it's like
it was socially acceptable at that time.
Yeah. So
what were your thoughts on episode 2?
I was gonna hope that I was gonna sneak by there by saying, now that we're talking about ancient civilizations, bongs, yeah. Anyway, so I think morally, that's an interesting story with the slavery is because I really liked Arslan's perspective, which was, this is what I've been told has been right.
Right.
And I like that. That's nice for a main character, as opposed to, I like the shonen, the Luffy type main character, which is, I'm going to do this shit because I want to. And that's cool. That works in a lot of ways. But I like Arslan because he's not like that. He thinks,
Right.
He's like, maybe it shouldn't be like this, but give me a good argument.
Right. It's like, yeah.
Because he doesn't just flat out believe what the other person's telling him either. He's not a dumbass.
Right.
He wants to listen and be like, okay, is that better? Is that worse? And so episode 2, you really, the King Andragoras, man, this is like big fuck up episode. He gets pissed at Daryun. That was dumb.
Right.
That was real dumb.
Hey man, something's fishy. You're a coward. God damn it, man.
Yeah, and that was like, you knew it was all gonna go to shit. Right?
The foreshadowing was real in that episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And so things go pretty crappy pretty quick. The barbecue scene, oof, that's rough.
We see wait, refresh my memory. Wait.
So they dug those.
With the trench and then
trenches?
everyone fell into it. Okay. I was like, was it a tasty barbecue?
Well, it could have been, because, I've, what people taste like pork, right? Isn't that the thing that, so, I mean, I guess it was, you get that metallic taste because of the armor, but, I don't know. And maybe they were good. Hey, this show.
All right. Yeah.
Arslan.
I just ate a little too much Phil Queasy. We can move on from this.
I mean, let's be like Arslan. Let's be accepting of different ideas. Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyway.
Next episode of Arslan.
Yeah.
All right.
That's how he really survived the battle, right? So his friends get killed. The kids who were fucking around in the first episode that freed the slave or allowed.
That kind of sucked. I was just sad about it. Because I thought that it's pretty clear that he's, the prince and, his dad's fucked and that, he's going to start his own legion. At least that's just sort of been my impression, rather. And I was hoping that these friends or whatever that were really loyal to him, excited would stick around. But, nope.
Nope, they did.
Where's a motherfucker?
Yep. Yeah, and so then Carlon, I think that's Carlon, the dude with the mustache, the pointy mustache. He betrays he's the one who
the
betrays
pointy mustache, he should have known.
Yeah, I mean, he looked evil.
Yeah.
I mean,
let's
be real. Nobody
I think all the generals was kind of evil, actually.
Yeah, they did, yeah. So Daryun has to rescue him. That was actually a good fight. I like that fight.
And also the whole, hey, I'm sorry I'm about to kill you sort of thing that he did, before he combated Arlian, or is that right? Arslan, thank you. I was like, I know it's wrong, but like before he fought him, he was like sort of apologizing for killing him or whatever.
Yeah,
and then he got saved, but
so it's really interesting how I guess the Parisians, what's the Parisians? Yeah, they're the ones who have slaves, so they're fucked up. I mean, obviously that's not a perfect society. And then the Lusitanians are the ones that have the Aldebaoth, or it seems like that cult kind of just got into their country recently, because it doesn't seem like they always were about the Aldebaoth or whatever. And so they've got, people are not things, people are not going to be slaves, but at the same time, we're going to fuck you up if you don't believe in what we believe.
Right.
Which I thought was, frankly, really two interesting countries.
Well, isn't that sort of like how it was in history, too? Like, I sort of see this being a true story, essentially, or based on, like, how things went back in sort of that era in which, the swords and the cavalry and those era.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. I'm not
like there were people that were like really into religion and really into slaves, and sometimes both.
Yeah, I mean, you needed slaves because you needed to build shit, and you wanted to do work that nobody else wanted to do. So it's a great reason to have slaves. And then, the only religion was an awesome way of getting shit tons of people to agree
yeah.
and to stick with the same thing, and to fucking don't eat crabs. Crabs are bad.
Hey man,
not good.
Hey.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you're right on. I mean, I don't know specifically, but yeah, I mean, I feel like the author really summarized, I think, most of human history in this fight. It's like, both, and it's nice that both sides aren't good or bad. They're both very gray, because you want to like Arslan's side, but then you really can't, because it's like the king.
Actually, I never wanted to like Arslan's side. His dad was such a freaking douchebag. His mom's a douchebag too. Pretty much everyone's a douchebag but him. So like they can all, and the guy who trained him. But
And do you think Arslan is a bastard?
Oh.
Because his mom really hates him.
Yeah, but he looks a lot like his mom.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, I mean, do you think she, basically it's not Andragoras' son. I mean, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. Is that what, do they say that?
Yeah. No, but like, Daryun notices, like, how his parents treat him really poorly. Just really... I mean, he just doesn't... And he's not a bad kid. So Daryun, I think, talks about it with his uncle, the older guy, the trainer. And, mentions just how they... the king really doesn't treat him well. The queen doesn't treat him well. Like, geez,
Right.
So, what did this kid do to shit the bed? I mean, apart from shitting the bed when he was younger, I'm sure. But, like...
Right.
So, and I haven't read, I'm not familiar with where the story goes or anything like that, but yeah, I was just throwing that out.
I mean, I almost feel like it doesn't matter because it's like, I don't know, I have a feeling his mom's going to die pretty soon, and I feel like his dad's already died, so it's like, it almost doesn't seem like a relevant plot point for him to be a bastard child or not. I don't know.
Yeah, unless it has something to do with the silver mask or whatever.
I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there could be some making there. I definitely didn't really pick up on that, but you're right.
Maybe it's a Darth Vader thing.
Yeah, maybe Silver Mask guy's like, nice sword skills. I am your father.
Yeah, I mean this again. I have to iterate. I have no idea. I'm just I've not read the books, so or the novels, so I have no idea. But it is really interesting. They really accent how crappily he's treated by his parents. And, Andragoras just seems like a dick to everybody. But, the queen, I don't know. Like,
She sort of seems like a bitch to everyone, too.
She does, yeah. It's tough to make a...
Like, well, didn't they have, like, an exchange where, like, he came home and was like, "Oh, honey, I, like, did this," and she was like, "I'm disappointed," or whatever.
Oh, yeah, she gave him a real cold shoulder.
Yeah, and didn't he, like, try to, like, get something for her or whatever? Like, I thought...
Yeah, the note for that scene in my brain is that he tried to get some but was turned down.
Yeah, but, like, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Not a good...
No, not a healthy relationship.
No one treated anyone well.
Yeah. So that basically takes us to 3.
I feel like 3 and 2 are like the same episode.
Yeah. I did want to mention, though, that when the mentor gets killed, that was badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he just got, like, blown up, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was, like... That, I liked how they animated that, too. That was pretty sweet. Yeah, I felt bad for the dude. Really did.
Yeah.
He was nice.
I thought it was interesting, too, how he... and, like, Darude, or...
Darian?
They had, like, a different sort of outlook. Like he was like, I don't agree with this guy's doing, but my loyalty is to protecting him. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then like Darun was trying to advise against what the king was ruling because he thought it was gonna help everyone. And then like his grandfather or uncle or whatever beat the shit out of him. It was like it was like, listen, bro, like, whether you think it's right or whether you think it's wrong, you owe him, so you will serve him. Yeah. That's it. That's how we do things. And he's like, fuck, I'm sorry. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that was an interesting exchange. I like that. That was that was cool. Yeah, so I was sad to see the old guy go. And then the king gets killed, captured, whatever. One of the two. I'm guessing captured because they didn't actually show him dead.
For some reason, I feel like I saw his head on a spike.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember, though. That could have been a different anime that I saw.
Yeah. So we wrap up this one with basically Darian taking Arslan to the guy who he's friends with, who is guarded by a younger dude who has arrows.
Right. So this guy's an artist and a strategist.
Yes, and I love... actually, it was one of my favorite scenes in the manga, too, when Arslan sees his art.
What do you think his art is?
I don't know. I mean, that's cool.
Or do you think it's just really bad?
I think it's both.
I have a feeling it's porn. I just sort of think it's porn. Like
I think it's really, really terribly painted porn.
Like the kinkiest of kinky porn.
Yeah. Yeah, and I enjoyed that, and that was really funny.
Yeah.
And the dude's cool. What's his name? Narcissus is his name. And he got kicked out of court, right?
For freeing slaves, I think is what it was.
Yeah, and he freed all of his slaves, and the kid who protects him was the son of former slaves.
Right.
I just liked him so much that, he wants to put up with this bullshit all the time. Which, Narcissus, he's really cool, but, like, I'm sure living with him is, like, a fucking pain in the ass. He's, like, one of those guys.
Right. It's like, has some talents, but, like, is also inept in a way. Yeah,
super smart, but is, like, I am an artiste. And,
right.
I love his speech on art is great. It's like, who's to say what really is fine art,
Exactly. So, and the way that Arslan got him to join, he was like, come with me and I'll make sure that everyone sees your art. And he's like, I love you.
You'll be the court painter. And he's like, great.
I think that was the voice that he used too. Great.
Yeah. Great.
I like it.
And then he has a really handy trapdoor that he can use to trap the people that are looking for Arslan.
Yeah.
Or / trying to hire Arslan.
That was also pretty cool. Because he's just like... I really think that he plays his role as a strategist well.
Yeah.
Because he knew why they were there. He knew what they were doing. He knew their positioning. So he positioned himself accordingly. Then he knew what to say to instigate them to attack, and then he hit the drawer. So it's like he defeated them without,
without fighting them.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was cool when he realized that Darien took the mountain path as he did, so that he would pass by Karlon's castle to basically to drag Narcissus into forcing him to join.
Oh, and their whole talk about strategy and words, like how there was like he was defending against like 3 rival places, and the way that but he spread rumors so that when he released the slaves, they'd all attack each other because they thought that was, symbolizing betrayal. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then how he's talking about, like, how are they going to get into this place? And he's like, words. They're gonna tell the slaves that they're gonna free him, and then the slaves are gonna rebel, and that's how they're gonna get access to the castle.
Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, Narcissus, awesome. Yeah, and this is a bit of mine that I really liked in the manga too. And actually, the next scene I was gonna talk about that really stood out was when Narcissus was telling his assistant, he was like, "Nah, you can't come with us, It's too dangerous." And then Arslan brings up the important point of, like, yeah, but who would cook such good food if they didn't bring him along? And there's that moment where everybody looks very serious, and they're like, okay, he's coming with us.
Yeah.
Was that 4 or 5? Actually, yeah, I think it was 5. I think it was the beginning of 5.
I think it might have been 4. Well, because 5 was all about the bard. Who's my favorite character.
Yeah, I was kind of sad we stopped at 5 because I read a little bit more of him in the manga. He's really great.
Yeah, and what was it? He like there was the guy that was tied up and no one could shoot him, and then he shot him.
Yeah, that was one of the other generals. Yeah,
yeah, that was a really cool scene.
Yeah.
Too.
And I was surprised they left that in.
It was intense. So, we're sort of talking about it. Potential could be really good. There's some, I don't know. The anime really isn't as shitty as we sort of let it out to be.
No, I mean it is, and then, definitely the enjoyment is going up with each episode, I'd say.
Right, for sure.
And it's interesting. Do you think so? The general that was killed. He was last seen hanging out with the other general with silver hair who kind of looked like an older Guts because he had a big sword and all that. Do you think the other guy died, or do you think that guy joined?
Wasn't he talking about the train?
He was, yeah.
Yeah, I think he probably did that. Then I don't think he died. Yeah. They put way too much effort into his. Well, I don't know. It seems like he seemed like a real developed character, so I just think they would reuse him.
Yeah. The torturer dude was pretty cool too. I liked him.
Torturer dude.
He had the really angry face with the big mustache.
I don't even remember. One of the generals?
No, he was the dude who was torturing the general.
Oh, yeah. In the name of God, right?
Yeah, he's going to be my Halloween costume this year.
Oh, my God. Oh, but then I really liked... And I thought it was really well put, too, when the bard character, whose name is Give?
I think so.
When he went to collect money for putting the general out of his misery, and then the woman was like, "You said you were a prince," and so one of the ladies that were there, he had apparently seduced beforehand, saying that he was a prince passing through. And she was like, really "You're like, what the fuck?" And then he was like, "But what do you say?" It was, we shared together in a dream, and in that dream, I was a prince, and you were the maiden who was with the prince, and now you're ruining that dream in a sense, because if you didn't know the truth, then you would have forever thought that you spent that night with a prince, and that night also so you like remember myself as a prince, which at least that was my like interpretation of.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think that you're right.
And I thought that was like pretty badass. Like if someone was to make a case for lying, like like that's a pretty good case for lying.
Yeah. That's a really good case. And I loved how pissed the court dudes were at this guy.
The guy, it's like, you savage or whatever. It's like...
They just looked pissed at him. Like, the moment, he didn't even start talking yet, and they're just angry. Or he was just started talking, and they're just pissed.
Right.
Just don't like this guy.
And then, like, what was it? Like, so, and then the queen paid him, and then she was like, oh, I thought for sure I was going to get, like 400, and she was like... You know, here's like 300. I would give you 400, but minus 100 for womanizing this chick. And he was like, "All right, that makes sense. Yeah, I totally. That's respectable. I'm a little bit of a douchebag. I understand."
Yeah, he was like, I got this. Yeah, yeah, he was great. Yeah,
I really think that the characters are interesting. You know, I really like it.
They are, and you can really see how the original novel is so popular. I mean, because there's really great characters.
Yeah,
really great.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So,
like different motives, and then you can sort of see how. Oh, I wonder how their path is gonna like intertwine, and if they stay around or if they don't stay. You know, like.
Yeah. Yeah, and from the opening, there's quite a few people I didn't recognize. I didn't recognize the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
actually, just
so I guess,
like looking at on Hulu, like with the little like panels or whatever, like how they'll show you like little samples for each episode, looks good. You know, like I don't know what's going on, but there's some people. She's like Archer, and then like that dude's an Archer, and then like a real angry guy with a mustache. Like it looks good. Like it looks like that there's some pretty good scenes coming up.
Oh, yeah, I'm flipping through, too. Yeah.
So.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks cool.
Yeah.
Well, was I too harsh?
I don't know. We're both at a sort of similar spot. And when I think about it, too, I did say that I liked Isran to pick up girls in a dungeon, but the characters in this are way better, at least like overall, not just the main character. Like I almost want to say I like the main character in Isran pick up girls in the dungeon more than Arslan, but all of the supporting characters in this I think are awesome. Yeah,
if we could meld those two, maybe.
Yeah.
Although I do like Arslan's curiosity, and I feel like he's going to become a super badass.
Yeah.
I feel like he's definitely... Well, and also they kind of spoil that in the damn next episode preview, right? It's like, and then the boy would become king or something. It's like, what? Don't say that in the next episode preview. Like, fucking give the whole fucking story. I mean, I know it's been a book that's been out since 1986, but like...
But come on, man.
Come on, you know?
What was that in the next episode? Was that...
Yeah, so you know the narrator who does the next episode previews?
Right.
So they end each next episode preview with like, and like thus the boy will become king or something like that.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that there's going to be a time jump. You're thinking there's going to be a time jump?
I think so, yeah. I think
it's sort of like on the first episode of Grand Logon. When you're like, when you're like, I think there's going to be a time jump because that is not that.
Yeah. It's like that. We know who that is.
Right. We don't know how, but we know who.
That doesn't look anything like him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was Grand Logon.
So good.
God, I was just thinking about that opening scene. That gets you just so pumped for the show.
Yeah.
You're like, what? Every single light in the sky are enemies? Oh, okay. Sweet. So we can't talk about that. I was about to do a Grand Logon rant, but yeah.
We keep on getting off topic.
So I might have been too harsh on this show. I really think the animation could be better. I really do, and I think what makes this show so good is the story and Arakawa's designs, which I think they've covered very well. I think
the animation could probably be better, but it could be way worse.
Not true.
You know, like I really like this sort of really good color, really like sort of the realistic anime. You know, where people sort of like look realistic as opposed to like, I don't know, Sailor Moon,
not human
or whatever, and Dragon Ball Z or whatever. Like those sort of classics. I really like this new animation style.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it does look very nice. Yeah, I mean the design is great. I mean, I love Arakawa's design. So, it could be better, could be worse.
Mm-hmm.
Just I don't know. It's real solid. I think some people are going to really love it. And I think we'll be pissed at how kind of mean I've been to it. But I guess I've been spoiled. Is that what it is?
Yeah, are we just old men like talking about the good old days of
grumpy old men?
That's what it is. I'm 30 now, yeah, so there you go.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you just had your birthday.
Yeah. 3 days into it.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
How's it feel?
It's absolutely different. Or same, rather. Whatever. Nothing's changed. I still watch cartoons and play video games.
Yeah.
So here we are.
I hear that. I just wish that when you age, I wish you'd get like that glowy thing that you get in WoW when you level up.
Boom, or whatever.
I think it would be, and you get like the achievement thing.
Right. If I got like an achievement, that'd be cool. Like,
yeah, I would like that, and I'd also think it'd be really funny. It's like you're 95, you're like bedridden, super wrinkly.
95, and it's like only like so many percentage of people like have this achievement or whatever. You know, like you're really
in bed,
fucking old. Only so many people like made it this far or whatever.
You're super old, you get the glowy, like, boom, and you're like, sweet.
The oldest person alive, it's like, well, what motivated you? It's like, I wanted to be the only one who got the achievement.
Yeah, you get, like, sweet loot mailed to your mailbox. See, I'd like that. That's, the next time they redesign the universe, definitely.
I really think they should, do more like a reward system.
Because otherwise you just get, I get drunk, when it's my birthday.
Right.
And then I'm like, I'll kind of, in a haze, be like, oh, I'm older. Yep. I don't know when exactly, but at a certain point, I popped out.
And on that note, I think we're pretty much anything else you want to talk about in the anime, or anything else that sort of...
I think we pretty much covered the first 5 of Arslan. I guess the question that's going to loom over the show is, do we come back to it when it's done?
Yeah, I mean, I just think that, like, in passing or whatever, like, when either of us get to it, if we ever get to it, similar to Triage X, LOL. But yeah.
All right. Well, I think we pretty much covered it, and so for those of you in the future, or I guess in your present, that are listening to the show right now, this is the end of the Arslan episode, and for us, back in time, we're about to start recording the Dragon Ball Super episode, so if you all would like to just move on to that episode, or perhaps you wanted to get a little bit of dinner, or maybe spend a few days, doing what you do.
Take a long walk on the beach,
Yeah, it's like we'll be, in a previous time, we're going to be talking about Dragon Ball in a few minutes. So I guess if there was a commercial... Well, I mean, I guess like for people... No. For people listening in the future, after we posted it, to them, this has already happened, right? So they're going to see all these episodes just in a row already, so theoretically they could see a list of like 200 episodes, right, that we haven't done yet. But to them, they could listen to it all at once,
Whatever. I have a headache now.
We'll catch everybody later.
Yeah, thanks for listening, and let us know if you want us to do different anime.
Yep, 2dimensionalchampions@gmail.com, or like us, retweet us,
share,
blog us on SoundCloud, please. On SoundCloud, like, let us know how we're doing. If you hate us, don't let us know.
No, let us know.
I have low self-esteem.
All right, well, let me know. Just be like this is what that is. You guys walking inside, like, thanks, man. All right, I got it. It's like, can you give me elaborate a little bit more? Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So send it to him.
Yeah.
And otherwise, we're also on iTunes, so like us there. It really, really helps. So, yeah. So we appreciate everybody who listened, and we'll catch you guys next.
All right. Take care.